Alright, hey guys, it's Desiree and I'm back with another video, so how exciting. I'm just gonna situate myself. Okay, so first of all, this makeup look, I may or may not post a video with it. I mean, it's not that great, but it could be fun. Anyway, I don't usually wear this much makeup, but if you notice the difference, thanks for noticing. Anyway, so today's video, if you didn't read the title, is kind of like advice, tips, and my kind of like experience getting my G1. So yeah, I did not have like the average experience getting my G1. So basically, most people like go to the place and they take their G1 and then they leave and they can drive, or they fail and they retake it, or they just fail and leave, you know, whatever. I had to go 3 times, and no, not because I failed 3 times. Did not happen. Put that disclosure right now. I did not fail 3 times. So the first time I went, so first you should know that like when you go get your G1, there's like stuff you have to bring, like proof of your identity. So one of those is something that has your picture on it or has a signature. So I brought my birth certificate, my health card, and my student card, because I don't have a passport and I don't have when you turn 16, another thing you get in Canada is a new health card that has your picture on it, and I didn't have that yet either. So basically, I waited for like 45 minutes, so it was a really long wait, and it was so boring, and I was so nervous, I felt like I was going to throw up the entire time. And then like we got to the counter, and they were like, oh, you don't have the stuff to take it, so like, bye, see you later. No, they gave us a guarantor form. I think that's what it's called. So basically what that is it's a form that someone else signs saying that like you are who you say you are, and it has to be someone like kind of like a professional who's known you for 2 years. So my mom's boss signed it. He's a doctor. And then like we came back another time, and I waited like another half an hour, 40 minutes sort of deal, and it was like really busy, so it was I was again super nervous, and I was like, oh my god, like freaking out, and I'm like studying while I'm sitting there, which I'll get into studying after. So yeah, so I'm like freaking out, I'm really nervous, and they get me up to the counter, and the guy's like, okay, you have your guarantor form, you have your health card. Like, well, I had like a paper saying my new health card was in the mail, but like until it came in, that was my like health card. So I had those 2 things, and I had my student card again, but I didn't have my birth certificate this time because my mom forgot it, but we were hoping that we wouldn't need it because we had the guarantor form and the health card, which said basically the same information my birth certificate will say. And the guy was like, well, it has to be a government document, which the health card is a government document. However, he said like they can't photocopy it or something, so I don't know. It was really confusing, didn't make a lot of sense, but again, I couldn't take my test that day. So I was like, oh my god, I'm freaking out, like I've already tried 2 times, and every time I go I'm nervous, so like, yeah, let's do this all again. Great. So I like went home, and then a few days later I came back again, and that time I had everything I needed and I got to take my test. And so basically you go up, and the first thing they do is they have you look in like once you go over all your paperwork and everything, they have you look in like this thing, kind of like at like an eye doctor, and they like ask you questions, and they're like, okay, which side is the light on, which side is the light not on, just make sure your eyesight's good enough to drive before they even let you take your test. And then they take your picture, which I always assumed they take your picture after you took your test, because if you failed, then why would they need your picture? But they take it before you take your test. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I like got my picture taken. And I think one of the worst things about getting a health card and your driver's license is that both of them, because they have your picture on it, you get your picture taken and you don't get to see your picture until it comes in the mail. So then you're like stuck with it, which I understand, understandably, because people would be like complaining and want to take 10 pictures and they don't have time for that. But I was like really nervous because I'm like, what kind of face am I gonna make? What's gonna look like? I have to hand this as my ID to people. Like, no. Okay, but it was fine. So I did that, and yeah, so then they were like, alright, go in and take your test. And so a few things that like surprised me in the test room was, first of all, how small it was. I mean, I don't know how it is like where you guys are from or how your test rooms are, but mine is very small, and you sat really close to people, and I didn't expect that. And I expected like it to be like rows of desks like in school, but it was like along the wall because it was on the computer. It was like touchscreen, which is like how I wanted it, was the touchscreen, but like I expected them to be like rows, and it was like along the wall, and like you were, and then there was like 3 desks like in the middle for like people who do written tests, I guess. And so like, yeah, it was super like awkward, and I was like sitting next to this person, and or well, 2 people, and I'm like shaking because when I get really nervous, I get really nervous. So like I feel like I'm gonna throw up and I like shake. So like I'm shaking, like I'm so nervous, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, this guy probably thinks I'm like crazy. Like I'm sitting here literally visibly, like my hand is visibly shaking, and I'm like, this is so awkward. Like, and like I was so nervous, and like the first thing you do when you sit down, it asks you like your birthday to kind of like know who's there, and I'm so nervous that I'm like, what if I click the wrong birthday? And I'm like, it's my birthday. Like why would I forget my own birthday? So I was just really nervous, but like once doing it, it was like pretty much exactly similar to what I studied, and I will get into that in a few moments. But so I had to like reread questions like so many times, but I passed. I came out of there, and I was like, okay, I can drive now, so that's fun. And yeah, so now we will get into like how I study and like what I used, because I have 3 different studying things. So yeah, so studying. So the first way most people know to study is to buy the book. So there is a driver's ed book that you can buy, and that is like the first thing you can like take, like that's like the first thing most people know to do, and then you have to like read the entire book. I, to be completely honest, never read any of the book. If I'm studying for something where it's a lot of memorization, I need to be asked a question, answer a question, or cue cards or something like that. I don't like just reading information. It doesn't stick in my head that way. So that's what I did. I didn't read the book. And then the second way I have to study is they have, if you go online, there's g1.ca. At least that's what it is for me. And then it's basically a bunch of tests for your G1, starting really easy to like mock G1 test exam sort of deal. So same amount of questions, same amount you're allowed to get wrong, and basically a mixture of both. So basically you pick the test you want to take, and then it's like all multiple choice, and every time you get one wrong, it tells you what the right answer is, and then you take and you just keep going and you keep taking it until you took them all. And some of them have up to like 200, 400 questions, so it's a really good way to study. And I took all of them, like a lot. Like I did all of them once, and I did at least 5 of them twice, because every time I went back, I was like, oh, well, now I have to refresh my memory on the way there. And once you take them, though, if it's because it's in your browser history, it doesn't let you retake them, so you have to clear your browser history and then bring up the website again. Just a small tip there. And then the third way I have to study that I didn't even know about until like after I took my test. There's an app apparently called like G1 Test or something, and it's basically the same deal. They have tests and then a mock like exam, and so again you just can take the tests up until your time. And that is definitely how I suggest to study, because one, it's just easier that way. You can do it on the go, and it's just, for me, I find it better to study that way. Two, the actual test is touchscreen and with like the multiple choice options, so it's preparing you more so for the test itself. So yeah, those are my 3 ways of studying, and that was my experience with it. And then we'll just talk briefly about actually driving in itself. So for driving, yeah, that's interesting. So for right now, I drive in parking lots because I don't want to kill anyone. The first thing I noticed upon like getting the driver's seat is like I wasn't nervous at all. Like I expected to be so nervous, but like as soon as I sat down, I was like, okay, what do I do? And that was it. Like I was ready to go. But like the biggest thing is like how touchy the gas is and like the brake is. So like as soon as you touch the gas, you're like, whoa, and you're honestly not going that fast, but like being inside the car, it feels really fast. So you're like, whoa, oh my god. And like, so like that's like my biggest issue right now, is I have to learn how to like casually, what is on me? That's awesome. Okay. I have to learn how to, like, just, like, keep a steady, speed and to not, like, just, like, go right away super fast, because that's what's been happening. Or, like, when I stop my brake, I have to learn how to, like, slowly stop and not, like, give everyone in the car whiplash, because that would be really bad. So, yeah, so far I've just been, like, driving in parking lots, which is where I definitely suggest you start driving, or, like, some, like, abandoned somewhere, or somewhere there's not a lot of people, not on the road. I don't suggest starting to drive on the road at all, unless, like, you know how to drive. But considering you know your license till now, I don't know why you know how to drive. Anyway, and I think that's what most people do. But yeah, so far driving's been pretty good. I mean, there's just, like, a lot of stuff to remember. Like, there's a lot of buttons that I don't know what to do. But yeah, and then, so yeah, that's how my G1 test went. Hopefully that was helpful to someone or someone's. I'll possibly make another G1 test, or G2, like my road test. Maybe I'll do something about that, because that also I think will be a really fun experience. Yeah, but so far that's what I do, and maybe I'll take you guys driving one day with me, because that would be super cool, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching. You guys know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment. Other than that, yeah, I'll just see you guys next video. So, peace out.